this is a really interesting election this year, given that we have gender quotas for the first time. They were introduced a little controversially and not due to kind of a huge public demand, but the previous Minister for the Environment, Phil Hogan, was very keen on raising the number of women elected to the Dáil. The gender quotas were introduced in 2012 through a legislative act. Now, parties aren't obliged to actually have 30% women, but if they fail to meet this quota, they won't get public funding. So, not surprisingly, all of the parties managed to kind of just get over that, eke over, for some of them, that threshold. Will it radically change the number of women elected? Almost certainly not, in the sense that this is a quota on candidates, not a quota on the number of women elected. And the single best way of getting elected in Ireland is to be an incumbent. Most of the incumbents are men, so there won't be a large increase in the number of women elected to the 32nd Dáil, it seems. There will be more, but it may be as low as kind of 6 to 8 extra women. It will slowly kind of motor on up the numbers of women elected, but it won't happen overnight.
The reason the recovery has been so dramatic, and it really has been, is because of the structural features of Ireland's export sectors. The goods that we export, indigenous industry exports food, the multinationals export pharmaceuticals and IT services. These have been extremely good sectors to be in because they've essentially been resistant to the global recession. So in many ways it's not really the government is the cause of the recovery, it's more these extraneous factors. I would be quite positive that whatever new government comes into power afterwards will say to the electorate exactly as this government did when it came to power, that having looked at the books and thought about things carefully, the oncoming crisis is deeper than anybody had imagined, and they won't be able to fulfil their election promises. It's quite amazing that all the political parties have been stumbling over each other in terms of offering lavish electoral promises that simply can't be financed.
I think my prediction is that we will probably see something the like of which we haven't seen before. I think there's a real possibility of a Fianna Fáil-Fine Gael government because nothing else can happen. If that doesn't take place, I think we'll be enjoying chaos for a while, and there's still the prospect of a further election this year. But I think further elections concentrate the mind of politicians, and I think when they sit down after this election and they add up all the seats, I think, as the bookies themselves say, the odds on we'll see a coalition the like of which we haven't seen before. I think Labour will fare badly. I think Sinn Féin and Fianna Fáil will be fairly close, which will be a big increase in seats probably for both of them, but for different reasons. And Labour will be a shadow of its former self. And Fine Gael, I'm quite sure, will be the largest party. They're sliding in the polls at the moment, but I would still expect them to come back as the largest party and be, the key figure in any future government formation.